Hey there, guys. I wanted to drop in real quick to talk to you about a brand new offer that I've put together just for you. It truly is going to revolutionize the way that you do business. I am offering a 90-minute strategy session that's also going to give you a visual roadmap that will guide you over the next 6 months to be able to accomplish any author goal you want to make happen. So here's the thing, we all need some one-on-one guidance sometimes. And the whole idea behind this is to give you the one-on-one personalized experience that you're really craving and get you on the road to your greatest success, right? That's all we really want for you. So if you're curious about how this is going to work, head over to authorrevolution.org/visual map and learn more about it today. Welcome to the Author Revolution podcast, where change is not just embraced, it's celebrated. I'm Carissa Andrews, international best-selling author, indie author coach, and your navigator through the ever-evolving landscape of authorship. Are you ready to harness the power of your mind and the latest innovations in technology for your writing journey? If you're passionate about manifesting your dreams and pioneering new writing frontiers, then you're in the perfect place. Here, we merge the mystical woo of writing with the exciting advancements of the modern world. We dive into the realms of mindset, manifestation, and the transformative magic that occurs when you believe in the impossible. We also venture into the world of futuristic technologies and strategies, preparing you for the next chapter in your author career. Every week, we explore new ways to revolutionize your writing and publishing experience. From AI to breakthrough thinking, this podcast is your gateway to a world where creativity meets innovation. Whether you're penning your first novel or expanding your literary empire, whether you're a devotee of the pen or a digital storyteller, this podcast is where your author revolution gains momentum. So join me in this journey to continue growth and transformation. It's time to redefine what it means to be an author in today's dynamic world. This is the Author Revolution podcast, and your author revolution starts now. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Author Revolution podcast. Today, I have a very special episode created just for you guys. So Tammy and I were talking about, how we're gearing up for the Millionaire Author Month, is what I'm calling it. So we've got the Millionaire Author Challenge that's kicking off on February 5th, and then it transitions to, if you'd like to dig deeper, dig into it further, you can join us for the Millionaire Author Manifestation course. Well, in order to help you understand really kind of the work that we've been doing, we invited our students to come in and talk about their experiences, not only with the course, like Millionaire Author Manifestation, but also with just the concepts of manifestation, the concepts that we teach. How has their career changed for them? What kind of vibe do they feel like has shifted for them? That kind of thing. Because I know when I would first hear about a course like, Millionaire Author Manifestation, I'd be a little bit skeptical. That's like my Virgo nature, right? I'd want to know, number one, does the teacher, understand things? Really? Do they really get it? Number two, do I vibe with them? Does it make sense that I would want to, transfer money in order to have and gain the knowledge from this particular person? Is the value there, right? Well, then in addition, it's not just me. I'm partnered with Tammy Tyree, who is a clinical hypnotherapist, and you met her last week if you listened to last week's podcast episode. So you know what she's capable of. You kind of know our story and how it all came together. But hearing it from the students who have gone through the first, live full cohort with us, I think really adds a layer of understanding of what's possible for you if you wanted to just listen more to this podcast episode or to the podcast in general, or if you do want to jump in and become a student of either the Millionaire Author Challenge or the Millionaire Author Manifestation course. Look, guys, we're not looking for everybody. We're looking for the right people. We're intentionalizing, yes, that's a word, intentionalizing that the right students are going to come to us, the people who are vibing with the messages that we're talking about, whether it be about manifestation, whether it be about elevation, whether it be about alignment. We want the people who understand, at least on some basic level, what we're trying to describe, so that their energy and their, you know, direction can elevate along with the modules and the lessons that we're providing. And so hopefully this episode will give you a little bit of a glimpse into what it's like to be a student of either of the courses, to be a student of any of the actually Abundant Author courses or the Millionaire Author courses. They are designed specifically with like the manifestational concepts in mind. And so Tammy Tyree is a part of all four of them now. We've got the Author Abundance Activation, Author Abundance Alignment, Millionaire Author Challenge, and the Millionaire Author Manifestation courses. So that's like our suite of manifestational things. But we also have the Your Future Self monthly mind magic stuff too. And all of these things have different price points. They're easy to come into. You can decide for yourself, you know, if you want to dip your toe into something. But with the Millionaire Author Challenge right around the corner, we kick it off next week, guys, on the 5th of February. So if you want to join, now's the time to really hop on board and to give it a whirl, because the price is typically $297. But if you use the promo code MAC, MAC 2024, you can get in and enrolled for just $27. So be thinking about that as you listen to the students who are in the Millionaire Author Manifestation course. A lot of what they're going to talk about applies to all the courses. It applies to, you know, the challenge, it applies to the Abundant Author courses. But when they're talking about the calls and the things like that, they're really talking about like the close-knit community of the Millionaire Author Manifestation course. So I want you to have your ears perked open. I want you to be listening to their wonderful stories because they're amazing people. And I'm so thrilled that they're a part of this journey with us. So without further ado, let's hop into their discussion with us. Welcome, everybody. We've got a very special Author Revolution podcast episode today. I'm so excited. This is going to be such a blast to talk to. I'm like so giddy about like what's going to happen and all the fun conversations we're going to have. But today we are bringing on the crew, or some of the crew, from the Millionaire Author Manifestation course that Tammy Tyree and I have put together. This is the second year. We're coming up on the second year cohort. And so we wanted to bring in first year cohort to talk about manifestation, about the program, about how they came about to the mindset work of everything that we have kind of brought to the program. And so first, before we get started, I'm going to have everybody kind of go around the room and the virtual room, so to speak, and introduce themselves. Camilla, did you want to get started?
Yeah, I'm Camilla. I write fantasy books, and I've written about 20 or so books together with my writing partner, Carol. And I first found Carissa through the podcast and very quickly got very interested in the courses, and that then led to the manifestation, which was awesome.
Yeah. Sherry, how about you?
Very similar to Camilla. I also found you through the podcast. I'm like, ooh, I think this would be really good for me. So I write under my maiden name, Sherry Queen, and I do urban fantasy. I have 4 in my Sleepy Hollow Hunter series and a number of anthologies that are out. That was pretty much it. So yeah, it's been good.
That's awesome. Heather, how about you?
Hi, I'm Heather, and I have around 140 books under a good amount of pen names, but they're all romance. And I originally found you on Instagram, I think a little bit before the manifesting stuff, but I signed up for your newsletter because I really liked, I think you would do like little snippets of like your podcast and stuff like that. And so I signed up for your newsletter, and that is how I found out that you did a lot of the manifesting stuff. And that's how I jumped in, is when I saw that, just what the course offered, because it was so unique. I was like, oh, I have to have this. So that's how I found you.
That's awesome. Izzy, how about you? How did you come about everything, and what do you write?
Well, I have various pen names as well. Izzy Wilder is my paranormal cozy mystery pen name. I also write sweet romance under another pen name and paranormal romance under another pen name. And I have about 75 books out right now.
That's amazing.
And I also found you through your podcast. I've been interested in manifestation for a long time, but I really hadn't taken any courses or anything on it. I just kind of did it on my own without really knowing what I was doing. So when I found you, I thought this would be great to actually, take a course and develop it even more. So
That's
that's
wonderful.
that's the deal.
That's super cool. And it's so neat to hear, like, I don't typically ask you guys how you came about in this circle. So it's kind of really neat to realize, oh, the podcast. Okay, cool. That's neat. And obviously Instagram. Super cool. Well, Tammy, do you want to introduce yourself again as well?
Sure. Yes, I am Tammy Tyree. I am an award-winning writer of memoir and paranormal fiction. And actually, I came to Carissa through the podcast. I'd listened to her for, I don't know, probably a good year while I was writing my memoir. And then joined, it kept coming back, that I needed to join the rapid release program on Author Revolution. So I had joined and met Carissa that way. She read the memoir, she interviewed me. We had a chat about Millionaire Author Manifesting and all of the things. And I went, it'd be really great with that program, hypnosis. And
Right.
then, here I am. So it's been just absolute blast getting to know everybody. And I'm really, really, really excited for what's to come.
Same. I can't even believe it's been a year, guys. Like, really, honestly, it's like, what just happened? This whole year went so fast. And now here we are looking back at like everything that we've accomplished this year and all the different things that we've learned and we're continuing to grow and work with. So I've got a bunch of questions that I want to talk just manifestational stuff about. Like we can bring up whatever, feel free to have a conversation. It doesn't have to just be like the question. So if any of you have other questions of each other as we're talking, feel free to ask them. Like, let's have this be a fun interactive thing. But let's get started with Camilla. Can you share a moment or experience that first introduced you to manifestation and like what about it caught your attention?
Well, it's sort of been there in my wheelhouse for probably over 20 years. But when things didn't work, I sort of put it aside, and I never thought about really using it as a mindset for my writing. And after I'd written my first couple of books, I realized something needed to keep me going. I love the stories. I love writing with my writing partner, but life gets in the way, and I needed something to focus my monkey brain that just wanted to go all over the place. So when manifestation came through your class specifically for writing, I really grabbed onto it, and it's been incredibly helpful. Also to reframe some of the things that I thought manifestation was, and that's not what it is. And it's been all good. It's been all very positive. This whole group has helped me through some pretty dark times, and it's good, and great things are coming. So that's my bit on it. I recommend it highly.
That's awesome. Well, I have a question then for you. When you mentioned that you had an idea of what manifestation was like, what was that? What were the preconceived notions at first?
Well, honestly, when I first found manifestation, it was through someone who introduced me to Abraham Hicks, and I got to a point where things started going very wrong, and I blamed it on manifestation. And I thought, oh, this is just not for me, and sort of let go of it as a woo-woo kind of a thing. But you taught me about, accidentally manifesting things, or, that we're always manifesting, and it's our choice to, bring in the positive and just let go of the other stuff, and that, crazy things will happen, but you can rescue yourself out of it. So
Absolutely. And sometimes that contrast just helps us to get more clarity anyway, even though
yeah.
sometimes we're not 100% sure why we brought that into our life, Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
and it's useful, right?
So here's a question I'm going to ask you, Heather. It kind of ties into what Camilla was just saying. Manifestation is often and sometimes, but it's met with skepticism. There are a lot of people who are like, oh, okay, you can just think and things become things, right? How would you address the skeptics to those new concepts? And like using some of your own experiences or successes that you've had?
Um, uh,
It's a
no,
loaded question, Heather. Come
it
on.
really is. No, I know. Um, no, I honestly like, I just, I feel like it's like what Camilla said. We're always manifesting, even when we're young, even when we don't even realize what, what manifestation really is. And so I feel like looking back, I was manifesting even, before I knew what it was. Like, I still like distinctly remember like being 14 and like just wanting so bad. Like I was obsessed with Harry Potter, like specifically Draco Malfoy. And I literally created this PowerPoint presentation of why my parents need to send me to boarding school in England because like I just wanted to go so badly, and I was gonna meet like my future husband or Tom Felton, the guy who played Draco, and I was giving it to my grandfather who he was well off, and he never ever deterred me. He thought it was like so cute, and he's like, you know what, we are gonna go traveling, just not right now. And he wound up passing away that year, but he left, I was very blessed that he left college money, and so I got to go study abroad, because of that.
Wow.
And it didn't happen exactly when I wanted to go, but it happened. And just so when I got into manifestation, it was more like 2012, like like a little more than 10 years ago. But just knowing that and being able to like look back and like even as a kid, like you want things, you ask for them, and they will happen. And I think the thing that people tend to think about, oh, if you can just think nice thoughts and you get whatever you want, they leave out the important part of that inspired action, or trusting yourself enough to take part into that inspired action. And I would just say, like, manifestation isn't just about thoughts, it's about working on your mindset, and it's about really getting clear on what you want and how to go after it. Like even meeting my husband, like he was completely like not my type at all. Like I just it was so funny because I had just come back from studying abroad, and then I had to do this internship for college credit, and I was going to marry a hockey player at that point, so not an English guy, but now I was going to marry a hockey player, and technically he does play hockey, but like just little things of like I dated one guy who was really into hockey, and that's how I got into it. We broke up, but I still stayed with hockey. Then I studied abroad based on the hockey schedule. I came back and did my internship because the hockey team I really liked had formed this sort of like nonprofit, and I applied for it and I got into it. And that's how I met my husband. And just like little things like that sort of like set things up. It's all manifestation and you don't even realize it. And you just kind of have to go with it. And so in terms of skeptics, I just think, I always think of like, okay, yeah, you can be a skeptic and that's your choice and that's fine. But why not like believe in magic? Like, why not believe in stuff like that? Like, you could choose to be miserable, you could choose to be, happy, and like the choice is ultimately yours, but that doesn't mean that you're right or wrong about it. So,
Yeah, it's all
yeah.
about that perceptional aspect of it. And it sounds to me like, well, and people forget this too. We're always adding to our manifestations every single day. So the fact that you wanted Draco Malfoy and you wanted to go abroad and you wanted a hockey player, it's like all those things just layered themselves on top of each other. So you got all the things just in a different mix so that you can
Exactly.
you know what I mean? And so like you were open to the experience being what it needed to be versus what you 100% this is going to be this exact way. You were open to that interpretation that the universe was like, we're going to give you something a little bit better. Here you go. Have fun with this and see what happens. You
Yeah.
know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Yeah.
at 14, I wasn't open. I knew exactly what I wanted. And I thought
Fair, fair.
what I made. Yeah. But like now it's like easy to be like, okay, like what's the universe gonna bring to me? Like if I want this, how is it gonna get to me this time? Like just what kind of fun are we gonna have today?
And learning too
Absolutely.
that you can be a little bit specific
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
think that, yeah, that is okay. That's allowed. Your ask can be specific. Doesn't necessarily mean that's what you're going to get because maybe that's not actually aligned with your purpose. But I was going to say, can anybody guess what genre Heather writes in?
Well, she did say in her introduction, but it is very obvious.
Hockey romance.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
I love that. Have you done paranormal romance too, where you get to bring in Draco?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Okay.
yes, definitely. We get to play around with everybody here, so that's
Yeah.
the best part of writing is that you get to see. That's what I manifest through my characters. So I get to be with whoever I want, and my
Yeah,
husband can't do
absolutely.
anything about it. So
Okay, fair.
yeah,
Oh, funny. That's too
yeah.
cute. Okay, so Izzy, I'm going to throw this one at you. Manifestation practices offer, obviously vary greatly. And so in the course, we teach a number of techniques and practices, from hypnosis to manifestation, like the steps of it to, oh gosh, meditation to like offering it over to the universe. There's all sorts of different things. Have you found any of the practices in specific to be most effective for you?
I just do it through the universe. I just kind of, ask for what I want and give the reason why I want it and wait for it to happen.
Love
And
that. Yeah, so
it
you
does.
lock into that vibe and allow it to unfold as it should. Sounds to me
Yes,
like you don't
absolutely.
put a lot of restrictions on it either, which then adds resistance. When you're trying to get we can always have anything that we want whenever we want it. It's just that when we think we can't, then we add that level of resistance into it. And so if you just stay open to how it will unfold, sometimes we can just be surprised and delighted based off of what the universe concocts, you know?
Right,
That's super
exactly.
cool. Okay, well, I'm going to throw that question over to you, Sherry.
So for me, I really liked the different techniques that we did for realigning our thoughts and our energies and realizing that they don't have to be big things that happen. Those little things really kind of nudge you into the direction that you're meant to be going. And that, of course, the answer is always yes. And the I am strategies, I would sit there and I'd be out on the lawnmower mowing and I got my headset on and I'm listening to I am this and it really, I mean, not to the whole mowing got done a lot faster too, but it really helped. It really did help to shift my attitude to being more positive. And that was my big thing coming in. I kept thinking, oh, it's all about the money, the money, the money. And it's really turned out for me to be more about the people. And the
Yeah.
people is my crew here, and that they support me in my endeavors as I go along. So it's the hypnoses that Tammy does, the meditations that you do. And for me, that is the whole thing is package deal, and I love it. So thank you.
That's awesome.
I
I
think
love
Carrie was
that.
referring to one of the walking hypnoses that I had recorded, right? The
Uh,
I am
uh,
statement, and went with a real
Yeah.
cool vibe. So
That
listening
one
to
has
that
a
for
great
it's
vibe.
like 2 hours long or something while you're cleaning the house and mowing the lawn. Cool.
Yeah, it's that whole movement manifestation where when you manifest through movement and that is kind of your energetic alignment for sure. Yeah, I use those types of meditations or hypnoses a lot. I think Amanda Francis even has one it's not a hypnosis obviously, so it doesn't get as deep as Tammy, but she's got one that where it's like a meditation that's like that too. And I used to do that like way before Tammy ever did her amazing hypnosis. And I love anything that allows it to be easy, that lets us to just like put it on in the background or helps us to sink into that vibe and really understand on a subconscious level all that we get to have and be and do. Like I just love that. It's so wonderful. Okay, so speaking of Tammy's hypnoses, let's go back to Camilla here. Tammy's hypnoses are definitely a unique component of the Author Revolution's like abundant author and millionaire author courses. Do you have any like thoughts on like the very first time? Like, were you ever hypnotized before Tammy's sessions, or was like coming in with her the first time? And what was that like for you?
I had some experience with past life regression type hypnosis, so I've been, had been very deep, deep, deep down. I knew immediately that Tammy was the real deal. It's very easy for me to trust her. And it's really been phenomenal. Just this morning, I had a question for Tammy on how my energy gets scattered throughout the day. And there's a writing subliminal hypnosis that she does that's 2 hours long. There's music, and it's so easy for me to just trust Tammy and focus and get the work done. But I also love how easy it is to get the images. The images Tammy uses in the hypnoses are very easy for me to latch onto, and also they're so open for me that it's what she says, but it's more. My own world just explodes. So yeah, it's been a really good experience, really, really good experience.
I love that. Do
That's great.
either any of you have any other experiences with Tammy's stuff? Like when you first joined, had you done hypnosis before, or was it like the first time?
So for me, it was the first time. And I still remember doing that. I think it was sort of like in the first module, it was like that. We're just gonna put you, it was like 10 minutes or something. It was like almost like a test hypnosis.
Practice, I think is what it is. Yeah, the
Yeah.
practice one.
That was like love at first sight. Like the second I did it, I felt so good. I'm like, all right, already worth the price of the course right there. Like I was sold. I was so excited. And then I don't want to get ahead, but like just doing the calls every week, and we get another one, and just all of it. It was great.
Right?
It was great.
I'm
Yeah.
still amazed at the way Tammy can drop those hypnoses in a live call like every week. That is just
I know.
amazing to me. She blows my
Right.
mind. Yeah. Tammy's like,
Well,
eh.
and just it's like she doesn't come like, I mean, I'm sure she does come prepared. I shouldn't speak for, but like we can just be like, hey Tammy, this week went like this, and can you do this? And she can just like, yeah, sure, okay. And
Right?
Got my
like
notes down.
she comes up with
You
these
live
20,
prepared.
yeah, exactly. Like with these 20-minute hypnoses, which is just so perfect, and it touches exactly what you need, and you're just like come out of it and you're like, no, I'm not out of the hypnosis yet. We're not done yet. Like, yeah.
I always feel like that too. I've mentioned that I think in the podcast where it was Tammy and I, it's like I always get done and I'm like, that was like the best Reiki session ever. It was so good. I love
Just
it so much.
FYI, I never come to our live sessions prepared for anything. It's all
Other than
like,
your
oh,
years of experience, Tammy.
I'm just talking about and making notes, and then it just comes whatever.
You just
Whatever you guys
live
need.
there. You live there. It's awesome.
Does. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I've never had anything either. And so when we first did it with Tammy, I got goosebumps. And like, this is just hitting the mark. This is reaching me. And that was really key to know, like, okay, I'm going to stick with this because it's resonating and I'm feeling it. It's not just listening to it, you're actually feeling it. If that makes sense. So
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Awesome. Great.
Oh, it's amazing. Izzy, have you had the chance to do any of the hypnoses yet, or is that something that you haven't touched on as of yet?
I did one when I first started the course before everything kind of fell apart in my life for a little while. So, but I had done hypnosis before, but I did love Tammy's. I thought it was great. So I'm really excited to get back into it.
She has such a way with it. I love it so much. It's wonderful.
If I just for a second can address the things falling apart, this is a consistent thing. You know, we've been with you for about a year. And when things fell apart for me, that was the one place I can always come back to and feel comfortable and feel like I'm moving forward. And so thank you for that very, very much. It's a safe environment.
I love that.
And
so
sometimes
much.
it's not even all about the writing. You know, we touch on whatever I hear in the live sessions and what's going on for people and where things might be needed. And so it can, it expands broader, can reach further and deeper than just in regards to the career too. So that makes those live sessions really, really special, I think. Yeah.
I think it ties
then, of
back to
course,
what Sherry was saying too, about how you come in and you think it's about money. You think it's about just like help me to elevate my money vibe and my abundance vibe. And then all of a sudden you're in a group of people who feel the same way, who have this vibe of elevation, but then we're all supporting each other too. It's just, I think that's been the most profound and wonderful thing I felt about the group as well, because, and we're the core group at the moment, right? This is the first time that, we've gone through the entire course, we've gone through the entire year. Now we're launching and kicking off the next cohort. And so it's like, this is just going to get better and better because more people hopefully will come in and have that same vibe, because that's obviously what Tammy and I are intending. Like the right people come in. It's not about like all the people come in. No, it's the right people come in. If you feel and resonate with it, that's what we want. That's who we want to bring into this thing, so that everybody continues to maintain that safe space and feel comfortable and feel heard and supported. So that's really cool. I love that. Let's see here. I've got more questions. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many questions, guys. Heather, how has the Millionaire Author Manifestation course influenced your understanding or application of manifestation in your life or your work? So like all together, because obviously we know manifestation impacts more than just the work, but has the course itself opened up new ideas for you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. What I really loved about the course, specifically to the course, is the part where, obviously we go through the mindset and we go through all of that. But when it comes to the writer stuff, like kind of what Camilla was saying, like the reason I was so drawn to this is because I had experience with law of attraction and manifestation, but never could I apply the teachings to what I was doing specifically, because a lot of them were focused to life coaches or even like yoga, holistic, like just, things like that. Whereas it's such a different community with when it comes to like indie authors and stuff like that. And so the specific stuff that talk about writing, connecting with your characters, publishing, and even the marketing, like you have modules on every part of being a writer, and just being able to step back and view it from that manifestation sort of perception of like, okay, I don't have that, this doesn't have to be hard, like I get to make it as easy as I want. And like Sherry said, like the answer is always yes. And just having stuff like that in mind really made the process of creating these stories and these books, or even looking at marketing a different way. Like you can have fun with marketing. It does not have to be difficult. It does not have to be anything. But the best part about it is that group mentality of like, if I am stuck, or if I'm going through something, like, hey, how can I view this from a different perception? And just putting that question into like the group and just getting that sort of like support and that feedback really, really helps me, because I take so many courses, but sometimes I feel like it's hard for me to ask questions because I don't want to bother people. I don't want to like I don't want you to feel that pressure of, ugh, that answer her questions again. Like, doesn't she know this stuff by now? Like,
That is so funny. But you realize that that's your
oh yeah, that's
perception,
on
right?
me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is like you made me feel like differently. The course has made me feel differently about it. And so like that is what I got out of the course and how it's shaped that view of manifestation, but specifically for writing and, like specifically as an indie author. And that like it's just so helpful when it comes to having that niche of being focused on the writing, whether it's the meditations or the hypnoses. It's like I don't have to sort of like suspend disbelief and like, oh, whatever. It's like, no, I completely relate. I can get immersed in this, and that has really helped me just grow so much.
I love that. When I've seen so much growth, I think all of us have seen so much growth in you this past year too, seeing how you've kind of gone from almost, I wouldn't say scared, but kind of scared to see if you can expand, see if you can grow bigger or go out. And it's like you have just blossomed in the whole thing. Like it's been amazing to watch over the past year. It's been amazing.
Yeah,
So
for sure, Heather. I also feel Sherry too, and Camilla.
yeah.
Right, but
yeah.
Sherry, I mean, she's the quietest one in all of our group.
Yeah.
She's just in the background, and yet it's like, and then she'll say something, oh, this and this
So
really,
profound.
I finished this and I did this, and it's like so great.
And oh, all the things. Yeah. And it's like we're always going through something like life, Izzy, don't feel bad when it comes to like sometimes life puts you on pause a little bit and you have to focus on what's most important because all of us have had things that have gone through this past year. I mean, everyone has had something in their life in this past year that's going to derail or try to derail just a little bit what we think we need to have right now, but it doesn't always have to be as we perceive it. It's always like if we keep in mind that idea of it's always working out in our favor. So I'm going to throw this one at Sherry. Authors can often face unique challenges and setbacks, right? Can you describe a particular obstacle that you overcame this past year by applying manifestation principles?
I've had a few. You know? So I guess one to start with, one of the things is I'm raising my grandson who has some very special needs, who takes up an enormous amount of my time and my energy. And for years, I kept saying, I can't have this career. I can't do this. I can't do that because I have to put all my focus over here and it is rightly needed in that area. But starting the course, I discovered I can do both. And it doesn't have to be as difficult as I was thinking it was going to be. So I think for me, that's where the manifestation has really helped me to overcome. And it's putting together, again, this group that's very supportive that says, okay, well, this is happening in your life right now for a reason. So let yourself be okay with addressing that. And the rest is going to happen. And it did. So I still got a couple books done despite all that, despite being in a car accident and having a couple broken ribs in December. I got other things done that I didn't think were going to happen. And you have to allow yourself to go at the pace that's going to be right for you. And I think that's what the manifestation is teaching me, is because I was fighting myself, if that makes sense. Like,
Sure.
I was pushing and pushing and fighting to do these things. Like, I have to do this, I have to do this. And as soon as I backed off of that, they happened. It just happened.
It's like the podcast episode that I just had to do about the let go to grow, right? Sometimes we have that narrow focus on what we think we want and how we want it. And sometimes you have to just let go. That's actually, I was following Jo Bure for the Alchemy for Authors podcast host. And she got this bracelet thing that has her word of the year on the bracelet. And so I did like the little quiz, and the thing that came up for me was let go. So I ordered the bracelet. I'm like, yes, that is my phrase of the year, I guess. But it's so true that sometimes we do have to let go to see the good stuff to come in. I think I was watching, oh gosh, Joe Dispenza or something yesterday, and he was talking about how like manifestation technically isn't even about getting what you want. It's letting go the resistance to the things you want so that they can just come in naturally. So it's like, oh, isn't that interesting? I'm like, I like that. Because all the things that you want, like you put it out into the universe, you put it into your vortex. If you know of Abraham Hicks and what they talk about, and it's like, it's already there. The only reason you haven't received is because there's that layer of resistance that's kind of holding it at bay as of right now. And so as soon as you dissolve that resistance, it comes through. So I'm like, oh, I like that way of describing it. It's neat.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, I'm glad that you've been able to go through so much this past year, and when things like the car accident happened, you were able to work through it. I was talking with Terry. She's also in our course, obviously not here today. She broke some ribs too, different situation, but she manifested healing. Did you find that your healing happened faster as well?
It's still a process, but I've had some other things going on with it, and everybody's like, wow, and you're still standing here and you're looking so happy. I'm like, I don't know. It's fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's better to focus on what you want instead of what you don't want,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, good. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm going to throw this out to whoever wants to answer it. The course obviously emphasizes like transforming our relationship with money and abundance. So has your perspective on success and in specific prosperity changed at all during the course of this course?
I think for me it has. I had to step back a little bit, a step back and say, I don't need to be over at this point right now. And am I there yet? Nah, not really. But when I look at where I came from over this past year, the money has just, I don't even know how many times it's increased significantly.
Oh,
It's not where I wanted to be yet, where I thought I would be, but it's getting there. And that's the part again about that maybe that resistance part that we were talking about, like you need to be there or you're having those negative feelings. And this group has really helped me to get out of that rut of negative feelings and feeling that I had to meet X amount of dollars. I
sure.
didn't have to meet that.
Hmm.
So that's
Sure.
kind of where I'm at with it.
That makes
Wow.
sense. And anyone else want to chime in on how it has or has not changed for you? All right. Well, I know for me, the thing that really kind of through working through the content and delivering it to you guys, what really shifted for me was understanding that you could have a goal and sometimes you think you want a certain thing and you want it at a certain time, but it's actually in direct opposition to a different belief that you're holding. Like, so for me, I wanted my author career to be something that was solid and stable and had a really good foundation. And I didn't want it to be shakable. I wanted it to be something that was really setting me up for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? And so that rapid growth that I kept trying to push for was in direct opposition to the solid foundation I was trying to build for myself. And so once
Hmm.
I realized that I can still be on that journey toward getting that thing, toward getting to the millionaire author status, toward getting towards the recognition that I think I want, maybe I can hold myself in that middle place, trusting that the foundation that I'm setting is still in progress, that I'm mid manifestation. And so it's about then locking in the vibe. It's about trusting I'm still on the journey. I'm still in the process toward having it. And I'm still taking those inspired action steps toward getting to the point where I want to be. And that was even though I'm teaching this stuff, even though this is something that I enjoy and I've studied for a long time, it was a new thought that I hadn't even had where I was like, oh, okay, okay. And my income is still growing too. I think I calculated it yesterday because I'm working with Bonnie Paulson. She's going to be doing, I've decided she's going to be my ad manager. We're going to test things out. And so I was checking to see like how much growth had I had last year. And I increased like gross sales 40% from the year before. And I increased net sales 45%. So
Oh,
profit
amazing.
45% from the year before. So it's like it's growing, might not be like 2000% like I would love, you know what I mean? But 45% is
Great.
still growth, right? So
Yeah.
that's been my take on things. Tammy, how about you? Like you
Well,
obviously
I was to comment on that. What happens is what I am recognizing happens for all of us as we go through the course and then we are there and supporting each other, throughout the months afterward is now where there never used to be, there's a recognition of, oh, that vibe, I don't like that. Those thoughts, I don't like that. And how to flip them and how to correct yourself. Whereas before, maybe you were floundering in this vortex of dark thoughts and, all the things and just, force and force and force this to happen. Now it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Now I understand how to remove that and get back into the flow with whatever it is that you're doing. If it's physically writing or if it's just thinking about my goals for the year and all of those things, it has to, everything has to be, it's like, or whatever, our divine beloved decides is right for me. And
right.
remembering this is, we do a lot of the woo stuff but it makes sense because it's like, oh yeah, it's actually true to what I'm experiencing is understanding that there's, there's a greater thing other than your goals that you've got in your book, right? Is there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. But I love seeing that. I love seeing that, everyone's able to go, oh, that's what's happening. Oh, I got in my way over here, rather than saying, why doesn't this work?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like just the clarity that comes with going through the studies and working with each other every week and every
Yeah,
month.
and doing your
Yeah.
hypnoses too, because when you can get into that subconscious aspect, and Tammy and I talked about this in the podcast she was on, like once you can tap into that deep like level where those sub programs are running and you don't even have conscious like aspect that you don't even have the consciousness to be able to touch them really. When you can dig into that and start reworking it and reframing those thoughts or those beliefs from that level, now all of a sudden everything just gets easier because you don't even have to work at it. Like you just
Yeah.
go in and you start reworking it with the hypnosis. It's amazing. It's so powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super helpful. Yeah, but I love that everyone seems to be able to recognize at a conscious level too,
Oh
where
yeah.
this is coming from.
Yeah.
Because that's not
Yeah.
me.
That
I'm
initial like
perfect and I can manifest anything. So
yeah,
what's this thought about?
forever. Forever. I'm totally not human. I have transcended to God level. Yeah. Yeah, we all slip back into that as anyone who's listened to the podcast knows about me this past year.
Yeah, already. Great start to January there, Krista. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that I'm so glad January's almost over. It's so good to be gone. Oh gosh. Although, weird things always happen. So we're going to just manifest some goodness. It's all good. We're
That's
going
right.
into the love month. It's great. Okay, so I'm looking over here. Let's see here. All right, Heather, I'm going to throw this one at you. What's been the most surprising or beneficial aspect of the course that you like didn't even know you needed, but it gave you?
The peace. I think that like
Oh,
um
nice.
what Tammy
Yeah.
like Tammy kind of talked about it. It's just I I I have had my best year since doing the course, and I credit the course with that mindset shift. And so
Yeah.
like even like what Sherry mentioned, like shifting the focus off of money to something different. And 4 out of my 5 strengths are execution. So I like having that end goal that I can measure and I can compare and all of that. But I would feel really like, even if I hit it or not, like the feeling of having that as a goal didn't feel light. And it was this course that helped me recognize like, I just have to shift the perception. Like, I don't have to have that as my goal. It could be finding the right readers or growing in a different way. And just having that bolstered like this empowerment of like, I am in control of like what I do and how I react to things. And so even if like I have a really, really great, day, and then I don't have a great day, like that has nothing to do with my value and my worth or my talent or whatever. It's just, it is what it is. And just knowing that and having that has really helped. And the other thing that I didn't even expect, but I appreciate it, is just going to the calls like every week, but also like monthly once the course kind of finished, really helped me change that mindset on marketing, because I was very much the type of person who I would just write and then put it out and then write. And that's all I wanted to do. But I was also feeling that disconnect of like, well, I kind of want money too. But I would always label myself as like, oh, I'm not good at marketing. I'm good at the writing. And then like after talking to everybody and just you and Tammy and just like, okay, but our labels are like the way that we view ourselves. Like that's going to show up in our actions. And so like we change that. And it's like, again, you don't have to like be like, buy my book, buy my book. And so doing that, I began to shift like how I looked at marketing. And so instead of it's buy my book, it's more like I'm really excited about sharing this book with these people, or I'm really excited about the scene, so I'm going to create a TikTok slideshow or whatever. And just having that shift in perception has really helped me. And it's I can see it financially as well as that peace inside of me, and just being able to have both, because you can have both, like that has really like changed a lot of how I go into things. And so that's, I didn't even realize I was going to get out of that, because I think like everybody else, I came in saying, how do I make more money and how do I feel good about doing it? But it's like, it's what people need to realize is like a lot of these ahas or downloads or whatever you want to call them, you're not even prepared. Like I wasn't prepared for all of this. It's just about showing up, and it's just about doing the work little by little. And that's why the modules are set up so great. The calls are set up so great that you can look back and realize like, oh my gosh, look at how much I've changed and look at what I've accomplished because of just doing that little bit of work. Or one of the games that, you suggested, are putting on a hypnosis every night and not even thinking about it. It's just part of the habits now. So
That's
yeah.
so cool. Yeah, I love
That's
that.
awesome. Wow.
That is so cool. I love those ahas and understanding, like, I don't know. To me, it's like that's always like the most fascinating question. Like, what did I get out of something that I wasn't even realizing I needed? But I think that's really powerful too. Like all the different ways that you've grown because of the shift, the small shifts that have happened, and the ahas or the downloads that,
Right.
had nothing to do necessarily with prosperity or abundance, but yet it probably still ties around. Like it'll all come back together in other ways as you continue to grow and expand too. It's almost like that foundational aspect. You needed to clear some of the limiting beliefs here, or get more clear on this aspect, or, that aspect, so that all the rest of it can fit together.
Right.
Yeah, that's neat.
Well, and it's a constant thing. Like just because you feel great or you have a great month, the resistance doesn't ever go away. And that's why it's so important to have a group like this who's so supportive, because there's always something more to learn, but there's also this group that like you can go to them and just be like, hey, like, here's what I've noticed, or here's a pattern that I've noticed, or here's a feeling that I don't like. Like, where's this coming from, or how can I, clear it, or whatever. And I think that that is such a true value of the course as well, because it's like, it's a consistent thing. Like, we have this, access to it even after the course is done, and access to each other, and just being able to grow with each other. And I think that that has, helped everything as well.
Me too. Me too.
That's
And we learn from each other, because it's so funny, because I think there's often times where one of us is going through something, and the first time they speak it, then everyone's like, "Oh, you too?" Like, what? It's like, it's so funny. We're all going through the same type of
Yeah.
thing, maybe at a different level, or we're talking about, like, is it Mercury retrograde? What's happening right now? Like all the things. And it always helps then to have, number one, the idea that you're not alone. You're not the only one going through this kind of mentality, or this kind of lesson, or this kind of work, whatever. And like you said, the community aspect of it, where everybody is in that supportiveness, I think it's just been, to me, it's been the most surprising aspect of it, because as we built this course, I don't always know if people are going to turn up to the calls. I don't always know if people are going to enjoy them or work with them. And obviously it's taken on a life of its own. And it's been so wonderful to see it, blossom and bloom into what it's become. And I think personally, maybe it's just me, they're all coming for Tammy. They're coming for Tammy. Yeah, y'all are coming
Oh,
for
no.
Tammy. Because she's so amazing. I'm always like, where's the ends that I can feel the
Oh,
Reiki?
shut up. Yeah.
I dead serious though. Honestly, it's been such a, like, you have brought such a wonderful aspect to the course, to the calls, to everything. And I'm so blessed that you were able to like come
Well,
into the
it's
rapid release
funny
romance
because
thing. And
we are a really, really good example of this manifestation thing without even really realizing it, right? Because
right.
I was looking for a way, it might sound harsh, but I was in my career as a hypnotherapist dealing with anxious depressed, suicidal people. And that's quite heavy work. And I've lost colleagues to suicide over it because of this work we've, done. And it is heavy. And so I was just like, basically, I've got to retire from this career. I've got to, but my heart is still very, very much in hypnotherapy, and I love it. And it's done so much good stuff for me in my life and for the people that I've had as clients, of course. But then, the way that you think about this attraction. So I'm attracted to your podcast and everything that you have to say, and it's helping me in my writer journey, right? And then I kept coming back to the dang course, the rapid release mode roadmap, like over and over again. It's like, gosh, I think I need to take this. Like, I didn't even have a first fiction done yet or anything, right? It's important. I need to do this. It's like, really?
Why am I
Just
feeling that
all the
need or the
things.
nudge? Yeah.
Yeah, just like nudge, nudge, nudge. And then we met like this first time at one of the monthly calls. And it was just like, oh, there's something we need to, have a chat. Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and
I
then
felt the same
when
thing.
that
It
decision
was
was
definitely,
made, it was
yeah.
like, yeah, we need to work together. Then everything was like floodgates. And for me, it was this is what I meant. This thought actually came to me. This is why I spent all those years at school learning how to do this stuff. This is where
Love
I'm
it.
meant to be, right? So yeah, I think that's, grand scope of things, but things you can manifest it minute to minute, and you can manifest year to year and years to years, right? So it's that culmination. And
Yeah.
if we were smart enough to be in our subconscious mind all the time, which we can't, then we would see, look at the map of life and how it's going to go and go, holy smokes, like this is great. But
Just
also by
trust it.
looking at that
Yeah.
map, and trusting that direction that you feel in your heart and your mind is where you want to be, is where you can get to.
Yeah.
It's just you need to understand and be able to unlock that dam and raise that, open up the floodgates type of thing, right?
For sure. And understanding that those desires, that's the divine guidance telling you where you need to be ready to head towards, not
Yes.
like, I wish I could, because that's going to keep you stuck
And
in resistance.
understanding the part about feeling that resistance and feeling like, no, I can't do this anymore. I can't be in this sphere. This is not where I'm meant to be or what I'm meant to be doing. And then,
Yeah,
feeling where it is, where you find the joy, right?
for sure.
That's the biggest thing. So yeah.
Yeah,
So it does work.
it is. It's wonderful. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to either practice or talk about or do. I mean, I love it. It's fantastic. Okay, Camilla, I'm going to ask you the next question. So the concept of starving artist is obviously a stereotype that we're always kind of dealing with as authors and creatives. Has the course helped you kind of redefine that concept of it at all? Like, did you ever feel like the starving artist aspect in the beginning, or have you obviously noticed it throughout the author community? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I have noticed it, and I was stuck in it. I was stuck in what you call the poverty mindset. I was stuck at being 20 years old and living in a little tiny apartment, and because that's when the writing, kind of started. And what I have learned this year in particular is I really locked onto my purpose. I always wanted to write, even when I wasn't writing. I wanted to write. And I found I love it so much when I finally started writing, but it really was defining that purpose. And that's why, I really do want to point to how psychological it is, the hypnoses, the meditations, the focus, the affirmations, the gratefulness. Yeah, woo, whatever, but it is psychological because it is, stuck in my mind. I can't ever be this thing I want to be. And one of the things that hit me so hard is your question of, is this true? Is that true? I don't know. So I know now I'm not stuck in starving artist. Like I have to be the starving artist to be able to create. I'm also not stuck at being, in my 20s and poor. The money manifestation of it all, I don't want to call it secondary because it's a lovely measurement, of course, but I'm really purpose focused now. And I know over the last year, especially, the feedback from the readers has been gold to me.
That's
So
wonderful.
I feel very rich in that.
Love
So
that.
I don't know if that entirely answers the question, but that's
For
how it
sure.
answers for me.
Yeah, no, that
Yes.
makes sense. And it actually reminds me of something that Heather and I think it was Heather and I talked about, right? Where sometimes we're not always like, I mean, the end of your conversation, we're not always focused enough with the money aspect of it anyway. So it's like we become, when we try to give it a money number, we put the resistance up right away because that's not really the thing that's driving us. It's not really what we want, but we think we want it because we're supposed to want the money. We live in a capitalist society. The money is supposed to be the focus point, but it's really the feeling behind it. Like, how do we really want to feel when we have the money? And I think I even talked to Joe Solari about this because sometimes we think we want a bigger number than we actually need to get to the feeling that we're reaching for, the feeling of security. And so when we're trying to, or the feeling of, being connected to our readers or the feel, whatever it is for us, and so sometimes it's about letting go of the money altogether, like not even focusing on it and thinking about what is it I want to feel like? Like what is the goal that's going to bring, what is the next goal that's in alignment towards the feeling I'm trying to reach for? So that way you're getting out of your way. Like the money comes anyway. Remember, like what Joe Dispenza said, like once you release the resistance, it comes naturally. So it's all about just letting that go and focusing on the feeling of it or focusing on the next best feeling thought or whatever, so that everything can kind of flow to you. And so it makes sense to me, that the money then becomes secondary for a lot of us because we're really then recognizing that we're wanting, this area of like security, of peace, of feeling purposeful in our writing, of feeling connected to our readers, of feeling connected to the story that we're trying to tell. Like that becomes the ultimate thing. And it's no longer like the money driven. And it's kind of a deceptive thing that when you think about it, like manifestation or money manifestation or any of those things, we get you with that because then it becomes the secondary thing, like to everything that you're trying to create because you realize that it's actually something deeper. I personally love that aspect of it. What do you think,
Yeah,
Tammy?
I think so too. And I that reminds me, and I think it may have been Sherry that had said that some months ago, kind of thing. It was like it's interesting that we're talking about manifestation and millionaire author career, but the realization smacked me in the middle of the head that that's not what it's about. It's just
Right.
not what it's about. It's so secondary and it's yeah, exactly. And I mean, we teach you to sort of work with your ads and work with your marketing and from that level of manifesting the perfect readers, like all of those different things, and putting things out there with love and intention into the world, and then just letting it flow, letting it go. And it's quite interesting how, yeah, truly that's not really the point of it, right? So
Yeah. It's all
um
about that elevation.
it is, yeah. So,
Mm.
you're a millionaire in so many different ways too, right? But like you guys were sharing, your monetary increase has happened. It's things are happening like as you've gone through this process and through this year, it's like, oh my gosh, look at the numbers, don't lie.
Right.
And yeah, didn't even put all of my focus just on that, right? It was so many different areas and things and aspects to who we are. So it's great that it's been so effective.
I agree. Well, a lot of the questions that I have already been answered. So, are there any other thoughts or any other things that you want to be able to discuss about manifestation, about what's happened to you during the past year, or have we touched on everything? What do you think?
I'll say something. I
Yeah.
found that when I intentionally have fun with my job, then I don't have to like worry about I have to pay this bill or I have to pay this cover designer or whatever. But if I go into it having that intentional fun, things flow. Like I don't even have to work for it. Like the money or the readers or whatever will just sort of flow. And one of the things that really, really kind of was a big aha for me was one of my pieces of resistance is that hard work equals success. And so if something comes easy, like writing a book, I don't necessarily deserve success from that because it's so easy for me to do. And I value very much hard work in terms of, I mean, besides my strengths, it was just sort of this value that I got from my grandparents who came from the Depression and who really, really put that into me. And it helped me throughout my academic career. And so I do credit that. And I think that that's where a lot of this resistance came from. But having gone through this course and just talking to everybody, it's like, well, you can work hard and still have fun. Like they're not mutually exclusive. Like hard work can be fun. And I think that by reminding myself that I can have fun with this, regardless of what it is, and I don't have to put that added pressure of I have to hit this number or I have to have this ranking or I have to do, X, Y, and Z. I can, whether it's easy or hard, doesn't matter. I can have fun with whatever it is. That's when I found that like the resistance lessens and more stuff flows to me, whether it's downloads, ideas, money, whatever. And it all happens because of just talking it out with people, but going through the course, doing the meditations and the hypnoses. And it really has restructured how I look at, my entire career, and even has spilled into my relationships and how I handle my kids. And just so it's not just for the writing, like this course, like the mindset work I've carried around with in every aspect of my life. And I've noticed a difference in every aspect of my life. And I just feel a lot happier than when I started versus now. And I am so excited to do the second round and just to see what else comes from it. Because unlike Tammy, I'm very prepared going into these calls with like, what hypnosis is Tammy gonna do for us today?
And talking about all the things that are on your mind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I know she's taking notes.
I love that. The list of questions are ready. Hang on.
Basically.
I love that. Oh,
That's
too cute.
awesome, Heather. Thank you. That's so great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I want to add that I think that for me, just being able to bounce everything off of you folks and all of the creativity, that creative energy that just is overflowing, and we share it. And I really, really appreciate that. I've gotten some different ideas of things that I never would have thought of without having been in that vortex of creativity. And so I really appreciate that.
That's awesome.
I love it. I love it.
Great, Sherry. Yay.
Guys, I'm so appreciative of you being here today and chatting things out about manifestation, obviously, and the course and everything that we've been doing. It's kind of one of the resistance things that I'm trying to let go of, where it's like trying to think more about like, how do I share the gifts that we have, knowing that it's going to reach the right people versus patting ourselves on the back or patting myself on the back, or, trying to, because that's definitely an area of limiting beliefs for myself that I'm still trying to let go of, where it comes to like the marketing aspect. And do people really want to hear about that? Or is that really something? For whatever reason, I love the creation and the putting together of things. And then I feel like, and this can be true, it's not mutually exclusive either, but like, I feel like the right people will be attracted to it. But sometimes the way that they're attracted to it still requires them to know what people are thinking and how others were impacted or affected by the things that we've done. And so your lessons, the things that you've gone through, the ways that what we've created has helped and impacted you is so powerful, because not only does it help us in knowing that we're elevating the planet, elevating our indie author community, but you're also helping to change lives because you're the guidepost too. You're showing them that this is what's happened for you and how it's worked. And I think that's so important, that other people can hear your stories and hear how, we're all, especially in the indie author community, we're all kind of trying to find our way towards that better feeling place, that better, more aligned place of like, how do we love our author careers? How do we love our books? How do we feel like it's fun again? Especially when we've put so much pressure on ourselves to earn money through it, or to, whatever. And so sometimes that adds almost a layer of resentment because it's not doing the thing that we want it to do at a certain point in time. And so hearing that the course has actually helped you, number one, lessen that vibe, lessen that resistance is so, makes me feel so good. I don't know about you, Tammy, but that makes me feel so good.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
it's like, I appreciate you all for being here and obviously for continuing all the work that you do and being in the calls and coming here today and joining us. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I'm sure Tammy does as well.
absolutely, of course. I'm looking forward to the next cohort, the next challenge coming up.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have not joined us, if you haven't been a part of this just yet, dip your toes in with the Millionaire Author Challenge. It's coming up soon, May. Why am I saying May? February 5th. My goodness. Is something cool coming in May? Wonder what
Yeah.
that was.
Yes.
Yeah, there's something cool
Yes.
coming in May. I don't know what it is yet, but okay.
Absolutely.
The universe just downloaded that, so I don't know. Stay tuned for that. I'm not quite sure. Apparently, we're skipping over February and April. We're just gonna March, April. We're just gonna go straight to May.
Right.
Why not? Oh gosh. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Carissa.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
looking forward to all the new stuff.
Yay.
Me too.
Same.
Thank you.
Well, guys, there you have it. You know, when Tammy and I were having this conversation with everyone, it was kind of amazing because, like, I thought for sure the students would be like, "Oh my gosh, the bonus, meditations and hypnoses were the thing that just like really made the biggest impact." Obviously we didn't plan this. It was just I had some questions and we were going to have an interview, style discussion. And so I was really surprised to hear and find out that their biggest connection was really our community. And so, I mean, I feel it. I love the community. I love our calls, and that's part of the reason why I offer them, because I get something out of it. It's a selfish reason, right? I love the vibe of these people. I love being able to talk with authors who are on the same level, who understand, manifestation, who want to talk about it. Obviously, having the hypnosis from Tammy is wonderful. So it's like all of those things for me are obviously wonderful. But to hear it coming from the students was a surprise and a delight for sure. And so hopefully that is something that is sitting in the back of your head if you are thinking about joining us in the Millionaire Author Manifestation course. The doors are not open as of right now, but they will be opening after the challenge. So if you're interested in the manifestation course, make sure you head over to millionaireauthorcoach.com/manifestation course and get signed up on the wait list, because there will be coupons that are going to go out to people who are on the wait list so that they can get in at a lower rate, because it's going to be our, like our pre-sale launch, and it's going to be going out to those people who are already a part of our community. And if nothing else, I hope that you're thinking about joining the Millionaire Author Challenge. This is a 4-day challenge with a single day at the end where we're going to have a call and we're going to talk about what we've learned, how we've grown with the concepts and the perceptual aspects of the Millionaire Author Challenge. We're going to talk about Tammy's influence with her new hypnoses that are a part of the challenge, all the good things. Like there's so much that's going to be going on. So if you want to head over to millionaireauthorcoach.com/challenge, you can get signed up there. The promo code, again, it's MAC 2024. So make sure it's all one word, MAC 2024. If you have any troubles whatsoever, you can always reach out and we can get you a direct link or something along those lines. I will also make sure that everything is included in today's show notes. So for that, you can head over to authorrevolution.org/220, and you'll be able to find everything right there too. Well, guys, I'm super stoked. I can't believe that February is already kind of sneaking up upon us. In fact, it's going to be February at the end of this week, and I'm kind of freaking out because, wow, this came up fast, and we've got all sorts of goodies coming for you in February. So join us. I hope you'll be a part of everything, and just know that, you're supported. We've got you. There are authors, there are communities out there who have your best interest at heart, and we thankfully are one of them. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy what you do. Have fun with your author career, and go forth and start your author revolution. Okay, indie author, Carissa Andrews with Author Revolution here. We need to have a chat. I know you want to build a sustainable long-term author career, but you can't do it just by wishing for it. It would be nice, yes, but alas, you gotta do the work. By that I mean you need to reframe the way you look at your author business so that you can write and publish more frequently. With Rapid Release Roadmap, my signature online course, I'll help you learn not only how to make writing and publishing 4 books a year seem easy, but I'll help you master your prolific author mindset so that you can clear away all the negative self-talk that's holding you back. Trust me, I have been there. To learn more about Rapid Release Roadmap, head over to rapidreleaseroadmap.com. Over there, I'll give you all the insights on what you'll find inside the course. Plus, I walk you through all of the bonuses you're going to get based on the payment option you choose. And yes, there are some good ones in there, even if I say so myself. Once again, head over to rapidreleaseroadmap.com to learn more and sign up today.